been I just walked out and we already have like over 30 people wearing black and white. So it's a signal thing, so and the occasional green. Someone told me in a conversation once that Philly is an Intel city.
Me too, which I love.
So a lot of people might grow up a certain way and they learn certain things. Even, you know, maybe they go to special colleges that are smaller. See, there's a black and white car. So there's a white Camry and a black Ram, and then a white like hybrid Mercedes up there waiting at the light. Black in front of Athleta, which is white. So anyway, so people can get messages or they'll get word per se. So we have two people crossing the street over there. They're in black and white. So black and white over here, tennis outfit. Okay, so it's hard to explain. I think it was 2015 or 16, somewhere around there, I walked around. I am so not kidding. Everyone wore olive and black. And I wasn't sure what it meant. I was like, what's that? I kept worrying, like, is there like a huge jail system going on? It kept coming across as like Nazified in a way. So anyway, I was like, are they arresting Italians or something? Like olive and black, like olive is the new black, you know what I mean? So anyway, so that's the dealio there. So there you go, it's a little olive and black in front of us there. But here we go. It seems a little bit crowded today, but what I wanted to title this as was something like 2011 versus 2024. In 2011, this city had tenfold the population, maybe more than it does today. Of course, the pandemic is in there to sort of minimize. But I think around 2016, once the administrations changed, people started thinning out. I believe there was a movement going on here. So a whole bunch of things were going on at once. One of which included or consisted of gang stalking. It's hard to explain. Now we have white maroon here. Circle Code Dreams. Yeah. So in 2011, this city was filled to the brim, jam-packed. I am so not kidding. I don't know where people came from, but they all came to the city of brotherly love, the city where the Constitution was signed, ratified, drafted, you name it. So, we even have Skeleton Girl over here. So, anyway, so just imagine that there could have been like 10, 20, 50 machines going on of people who maybe were highly trained to behave a certain way, and it was feeding towards, say, 1 or 2 targets in the city. It's hard to explain. So these days it would be like whatever's going on is extra light. It's not even close to what was going on in 2011. So, and then say people can put through messages like say people were wearing olive and black. And somehow it came through to you as like, and on top of that, people kept putting their hands behind their back. You know how people sort of walk that way? Usually they're older, or in certain communities, it's like more natural to hold your hands behind your back. But it could come across, or a message could be sort of sent over that it represented, say, jail or prison. And you're like, what's going on? They're like arresting a lot of people? Or then say on top of that, you're like, is there a world out there trying to get certain people in trouble? Like, is one group's, trying to get another group in trouble? Like, it could be any group against another group, you know what I mean? So you're like, oh my God, I don't want to. Of course, if you're heavily provoked all day long by all the signalers So we have a Range Rover black, a white Acura, and then a black Mercedes up there. Actually, there's a library up there where that red awning is, or the red scaffolding. And then also a building, 220, so 220 West Rittenhouse Square, is on top of the library. So say a million messages get sent through, say you're made to feel like a pedophile or something, and people put barrettes in front of your door, like little girl barrettes that normally kids wear with braids. And you're like, this is crazy. Like, it's, anyway, I had to finally write a book. I was slaved out for that. But it's Duplicity and Duress, Snap Factories in the making. But say you're harassed so badly, but you can't really prove it, and you almost feel like you're laughed out of any authority office that is supposed to maybe help you. Or, you know, they're like, well, we can't really do anything. We know there's a lot going on in the city, but, and you're like, that's crazy. Like, no one's willing to do anything, like, or figure out a way to, you know, help me or another target situate themselves somewhere else, or unless people come up secretly and try to do it secretly, because it was so bad that it's historic. This is interesting. This is like an effervescent green car. So like from different angles, you can see like blue, purple, green. Oh, it's the Gators, Florida. I'm not a huge Gator fan for about 5 million reasons, but that's okay. A lot of Florida came up. I had to move to Florida for about 2.5 years. Then everybody passed away and I had to hurry up and move back because I had cousins who I guess desperately needed to sell the house that I was invited to live in while I was trying to recoup and recover from whatever many years of what was going on here. So they didn't seem to care, you know, I guess. So not a big fan of the Gators for that reason. But anyway, oh, is this a ruffled pigeon or a pregnant pigeon here? Hi. He's a little puffy. But as soon as I got back from Florida, I was already like invisibly trained to read license plates. It's hard to explain. People are invisibly like trained, or they learn something invisibly. There's some flamingos here. These people seem somewhat friendly, but they weren't there before. But when I got back from Florida, I was like the number 3 ranking license plate car situation, Florida. And in this area, and I know this for a fact because it's hard to explain, I was actually forced to read license plates. Normally we would have, of course, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and it would grow out from there. Oddly, we had a bunch of Michigan and Wisconsin, or no, not Michigan, sorry. Wisconsin would be more, we oddly had Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Texas. For some weird reason, Texas has always been prevalent here in Philly. It was kind of odd because a whole bunch of people who turned out to be my clients were from Houston, Texas, and I was like, what's up with Texas being in Philly? Houston, we have a problem. So anyway, that's the dealio. It's very quiet here in Philadelphia today. In 2011, the number of people that you would have seen on the sidewalk, even on a Sunday, on an overcast Sunday in